Every day, it seems as though something significant happens that causes problems in this fine country, and today is no different. We have some shocking news regarding Angela Rayner, as confirmation has been made that could see us in trouble. In today's video, we will discuss this while also covering all of the latest news from across the country. But first, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and join our fast-growing community. In a surprising development, Angela Rayner has been given a permanent seat on the UK government's National Security Council. This comes as the rebooted Downing Street operation seeks to smooth over reports of tensions between Keir Starmer and his deputy. Allies of the Deputy Prime Minister had expressed concerns about being sidelined when it emerged 2 weeks ago that she had only been given a temporary place on the committee that brings together ministers with military and intelligence chiefs. However, The Guardian reports that she has now been made a permanent member of the NSC, which discusses and assesses the biggest threats facing Britain. This change is part of a concerted effort driven by the new Chief of Staff at Number 10, Morgan McSweeney, to bolster her position. Starmer has also strengthened the quad of his most senior ministers to create a proper steering group for the government's agenda. Insiders noted that, in addition to Rayner, this group includes Rachel Reeves, the Chancellor, and Pat McFadden, the Senior Cabinet Office Minister. In another move to support the Deputy Prime Minister, she will more formally and routinely deputise for Starmer, such as standing in at Prime Minister's questions this week while he is away in Samoa for a Commonwealth Heads of Government Summit. Downing Street hopes these changes will reassure Rayner and her allies in the Labour Party, as well as across the union movement, that she has Starmer's full support, following reports of ongoing tensions between the pair. A Number 10 source stated that Keir respects Angela and wants to ensure that this is recognised more widely in government. The public reaction to this news has been strong. Nicholas said, "I feel genuinely unsafe knowing Angela Rayner is now calling the shots on security." Wolf remarked, "A seat on the NSC is not a position you hand out to smooth relationships. It's highly irresponsible of Starmer if he didn't think she warranted a permanent seat back in July. Why does she warrant one now?" JM added. "I'm sorry, what makes her qualified for this position?" "It's just one bad joke after another with Labour at the helm," Papa commented. "Labour doesn't know what security means. I see a national disaster impending," Clive stated. "This government is a disaster." Rayner is not fit to sit on a parish council and should be kept away from anything related to national security. With incompetents like Starmer and Rayner in positions of power, it's only a matter of time until they create a serious problem. What are your thoughts on this? Let me know in the comments. In other news, a bombshell report claims that hundreds of thousands of students and teachers across the UK will die from exposure to asbestos. The electrical and thermal insulator, found in many British schools, could lead to a tsunami of cancer deaths as many buildings begin to deteriorate. The Joint Union Asbestos Committee UAC has warned that over 21,000 schools in the UK could be at risk due to this toxic building material, often referred to as a silent killer. Liz Darris, Chief Executive of Mesothelioma UK, described it as like a bomb that is slowly exploding. Since 1980, at least 1,400 teachers and support staff, along with 12,600 pupils, have died from mesothelioma, an aggressive cancer caused by inhaling asbestos fibers. This number is expected to continue growing over the next 20 to 60 years as crumbling school buildings place more people in danger. WashUAC produced a report following an investigation involving 8 education unions, stating that hundreds of thousands of students and staff exposed to asbestos in their schools since the mid-1990s are predicted to die from mesothelioma. Crucially, the evidence in this report suggests there will likely be a tsunami of deaths in the UK, resulting from ineffective asbestos regulations and a cost-cutting culture that wrongly implies asbestos is safe as long as it is not disturbed. The current policy, unchanged across multiple successive governments, involves leaving the material in place until it is visibly damaged. Lawyer Hara Baines, who has represented asbestos victims for 30 years, has now been instructed by the National Education Union to bring a legal case against the government. Baines, whose father passed away from mesothelioma, stated that schools are not fit for purpose. "You don't have to see visible dust for it to be dangerous. Inhaling any amount is potentially deadly," she said. One teacher remarked, "We wouldn't send our children into burning buildings, so why are we sending them into buildings riddled with asbestos?" Darris described the issue as a national disgrace, adding that the ongoing presence of asbestos in our deteriorating school buildings is like a bomb that is slowly exploding. It's an unbelievable tragedy that we are not doing more to protect people, especially children. WASI's report, titled "What is the real risk from asbestos in schools?" used official government data to determine the possible fatality rate. Lib Dem MP Mona Wilson, who has previously pressured the government to reveal the scale of the asbestos issue, called the study shocking and emphasized the devastating impact of years of neglect on our schools. Every parent should know that when they send their child to school, they will be taught in a safe environment. A spokesman for the Health and Safety Executive stated they did not recognize the figures used in the report, adding that their inspection campaign showed that the majority of schools are managing asbestos safely. The Department for Education also emphasized their commitment to ensuring the safety of children and those who work with them. Lastly, an Australian lawmaker interrupted King Charles's speech at the end of his address to Australia's Parliament on Monday, creating a dramatic moment during His Majesty's tour down under. King Charles and Queen Camilla were visiting Australia's Parliament House in Canberra for a ceremonial welcome and parliamentary reception, an event already snubbed by the country's 6 state premiers. During his speech in the Great Hall, the King acknowledged Indigenous communities, saying, "Let me also say how deeply I appreciated this morning's moving welcome to country ceremony, which offers me the opportunity to pay my respects to the traditional owners of the lands on which we meet. The Gunai-Kurnai people and all First Nations peoples who have loved and cared for this continent for 65,000 years." However, Senator Lydia Thorpe from Victoria interrupted the King's speech, angrily chanting, "You are not our King. This is not your land." The senator, known for her past outbursts, was escorted out of the chamber by security guards. What are your thoughts on what we discussed in today's video? Let me know in the comments section below. If you haven't already, make sure to drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel for more British content. Thank you, take care, and goodbye.